Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about the chemical reactions of metals and non-metals. But basically, we're going to talk about metals. And in the coming videos, we'll be discussing about chemical reactions of non-metals also. Okay. In this video, particularly, we are going to talk about the reaction of metals with air, or in other words, reaction of metals with oxygen. Okay, let's go through some properties of individual metals. Okay, so when any metal is burnt in air, when you bring a metal strip against the flame, the metal will burn with a distinct flame color. When you bring a metal strip made of lithium, if the metal is a lithium, when you bring the strip near the Bunsen burner or the flame of the lithium metal will change the flame, but because of its reaction with the oxygen, into nearly like a pinkish color. Strontium is also pink but a little bit mix. Sodium is bright yellow, copper is bluish green, and potassium is a little bit of whitish flame. So every metal, when you bring a strip of a metal near the flame, it has a distinct color of flame. And the common reaction, or the general reaction, we call it as metal plus oxygen gives metal oxide. Okay, so let's talk about the individual flame. So helium, when it is burned in air, it will give this distinct color, which is more of a violetish pink. So all metals will react or combine with oxygen to form the particular metal oxide. Every metal. Okay, so each metal burn with a distinct colored flame. Lithium with a crimson red, sodium is intense yellow, potassium is lilac, not white, lilac, calcium is brick red, strontium is crimson, barium is apple green, and copper is green. So this is one of the method to test which type of metal do we have. Suppose a metal strip is given to you. Every metal strip will be shiny because they have the property of luster. So when you're given a metal, how do we detect that which metal is it? So we do it by a method called as flame test method. So with the color of the flame, we can come out with what is the metal. So if it's a potassium, I'll get a lilac color. If it's a sodium, I should get a yellow flame. If it's a lithium, a crimson red. A calcium means red, bright red. Copper, blue green, and strontium is again crimson. There's a difference between crimson red and crimson. So experimental method to detect the presence of metal in any substance. This experimental method is called as flame test method of detecting a metal. Okay. So if a copper is burnt, what will happen? The copper will combine with oxygen and it will form cuprous oxide, and or it's called as copper 2 oxide, and it is a very blackish powderish substance. Therefore it is called as black oxide. Which is called as black oxide? The cupric oxide is called as black oxide. Okay, cupric oxide is called as black oxide. Okay, and you can see the color crimson green, right? Next, metal oxides are basic in nature. What do we mean by that? We mean by that is whenever you mix the metal oxide in water, they will give you acid. Sorry, they'll give you base. So they'll react with acid. Metal oxides are basic in nature means metal oxides can only react with acid but not with base. They'll be not reacting with any base. But yes, whenever you mix it with the acid, it will give you a product. So here they have taken black oxide or cupric oxide, plus they have added it into HCl acid, you get copper chloride, right? So copper 2 oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to form copper chloride with water. Copper oxide reacting with hydrochloric acid. So we can write the reaction as Cu plus H2O gives us CuCl2 plus H2O. CuO plus HCl gives CuCl2 plus H2O. So copper oxide plus hydrochloric acid gives us copper chloride plus water. So the copper oxide is a base. Therefore, it is able to react with the acid. So we know the neutralization reaction. A base reacting with acid will always give us a water. Salt plus water. Are we getting it here? Yes. The examples of basic oxides, like if I want to let's take magnesium oxide. If it's react with hydrochloric acid, it will give me magnesium chloride. and water, respective salt. So same way sodium oxide will give me what? Sodium chloride plus water, right? Calcium oxide with hydrochloric acid will give me calcium chloride plus water, which is we saw it. Lithium oxide with react with hydrochloric acid to give lithium chloride plus water, and potassium will give us potassium chloride plus water. So can we say in generalized way that any metal oxide reacting with any acid will give us a salt plus H2O, right? Again, any metal oxide, right, reacting with acid will give me salt plus H2O. Hope it is clear, right? Okay, that color was not visible, so I've changed it into blue. So metal oxide plus acid gives salts plus water. Okay, before we go into further detail, let's look into the flame test, or let's go and check different metals like aluminum, magnesium, zinc, and iron reacting with air. Okay, let's have a look. As you can see here, the person has taken a strip of what? Magnesium, and it is being placed on the flame. Okay, and you can see the distinct color of the flame, which will be very bright white light, and you're not supposed to watch it for a long time, otherwise it will really catch you and it's going to be a strain to your eye. It's a very, very bright light, right? So magnesium burns with a very bright light. Okay, and the product that we got is magnesium oxide, which is black in color. Okay, now we'll go with the next strip. Can you see this is magnesium oxide? The next strip that we'll be taking here is aluminium. So this is the aluminium. Can you see the distinct shiny surface of aluminium? Because it's lustrous in nature, right? So now it will be put onto the flame, and let's see what happens. So it's burning with a, yes, it's more quick in burning, but the flame is yellowish. It nearly kind of melts, right? And forms aluminium oxide. Okay. Again, can you see it? It's quickly burning and melting. And the substance which is left out after the burning is called as aluminium oxide, right? The next we are going to take is zinc. This is zinc metal. It's also shiny because it's having lustrous shape. So when it is put on the flame, you can see the distinct color, yes, plus it will melt more quickly, or you can say changes into a metal molten state more quickly than aluminium, and you get zinc oxide. Can you see? So this substance is zinc oxide. Now we are taking an iron nail and we are going to place it under the flame. Because iron nail is really thick, it is not going to give any flame. It should be a thin metal. But what you will see is after a few seconds, the iron nail will turn into red hot color, right? So a thick iron nail or a thin sheet is not going to burn. But when iron fillings or powdered tiny bits of iron is thrown on the flame, you have to be careful. You can see the sparkles. Can you see the sparkles coming? So iron fillings do burn with oxygen and they give iron. Okay, they do burn with the iron. Oxide is formed and the flame is shows some sparkling substance. So iron fillings will burn with a sparkle and form iron oxide, but not iron thick strip or any iron nail will burn. They just change into red color, hot color substance. Okay, now aluminum and zinc, we just saw how easily it goes melting. So when aluminum is heated with air, it combines with oxygen to form aluminum oxide. Similarly, when zinc is heated with air, it combines with zinc oxide to form. Okay, so this is aluminum plus oxygen gives aluminum oxide. Now aluminum oxide and zinc oxide, the two metal oxides, they can react with both acids and bases. So those metal oxides which can react with both acids as well as bases are called as amphoteric oxide. Metal oxides which can react with both acids and base, both, then it's amphoteric oxide. Previously we just saw that metal oxide can react with base. No, they cannot. I'm really sorry, I'll correct myself. Metal oxides will react with only acids, and we saw the reaction with HCl, and we got the salt plus water. But zinc oxide and aluminum oxide can react with both acid and base, and they produce their respective salt and water. So let's take an example of aluminum reacting with an acid and base. So aluminum reacting with HCl gives us aluminum chloride plus water, and aluminum oxide reacting with sodium hydroxide, which is a base, will give me sodium aluminate, which is also a salt plus water. So with both acid and base, aluminum oxide is reacting, therefore it is called as amphoteric oxide, and in both the cases it is giving a respective salt plus water, right? Now the trends that we see. The most important trend that we see is potassium and sodium are so vigorous in reacting with oxygen that they can catch fire. Therefore, they are never kept in open. They to protect them and to prevent any accidental fire, we keep it in kerosene. They are so fast that wherever you leave it, they'll catch fire. So let's have a quick look into an activity to understand this. So in this beaker, we have placed the kerosene. There's a kerosene oil in which potassium is kept. Okay, and we are going to put it into the what first we'll just rinse it with water, because to remove the oil which is stick around the surface of the sodium, and then we leave it in the open beaker and let's see what happens. Okay, so now we'll be taking the sodium from the kerosene, and a little bit water will be poured using this measuring cylinder so that it can rinse out the oil which is present in it. So they are going to place the sodium inside this big conical flask. Okay, and a little bit of water to rinse off the oil. Can you see the pops? Yes, the flame. Why did it burst? Because first initially it was reacting with water. Now it is reacting with the oxygen present into the cortical. Can you see the flame? It's so vigorous. Similarly, we are going to look into how iron fillings produce sparks. So this is a Bunsen burner which will be lighting it up, and then we'll sprinkle iron fillings. What are iron fillings? Iron fillings are powdered form of iron. Okay, so now they'll be, you see, the person has powdered iron which is being spread or sprinkled over the flame, and you can see the sparkles, right? So metals have distinct property. Potassium and sodium are the most highly reactive metals when compared to reacting with oxygen. So to prevent and protect them, they are kept into kerosene. At ordinary temperature, the surfaces of the metals like aluminum, zinc, they react with oxygen present in the air and form a coating which is called as the oxide layer, which is oxidation or corrosion or rusting when it comes to iron. But in aluminum and lead, this is lead and aluminum, the outside layer is coated by oxygen because the oxygen present in the air reacts with the aluminum outer surface and it forms this distinct color layer. Once you cut it, it again shines off. So this is called as a protective oxide layer, which prevents further oxidation. Okay. Next, iron does not burn on heating, but iron fillings burn vigorously with the sprinkle in the flame, which we just saw in the experiment. And similarly, the last two properties are for copper. Copper does not burn, but they do heat up, and there is a coating around the copper metal which is blackish in color, and this black colored coating is called as copper oxide. Silver and gold are the two metals which never react with oxygen. So again, sodium and potassium are vigorously reacting that they catch fire. Then aluminum, zinc, lead, they do react with oxygen present in the air and form a coating. But if you're burning them, they do give a distinct flame and form their respective oxide. Iron as a whole will not burn, but iron fillings do burn vigorously and give out sparkles. Copper does not burn, but hot copper metal do has a oxide coating which is black colored, and this coating is copper oxide. Silver and gold do not react with any of the metals at any given temperature. So in this video we just learned about the chemical reactions of metals with air or oxygen. Hope it is clear. Thank you.